Regardless of what you are assessing, there will be risks, and in this instance, I'm not referring to health and safety. Risks are anything that can compromise the assessment process. So in the Level 3 Certificate in Assessing Vocational Achievement, we need to be aware of the risks involved, so that we need to think about what could go wrong and then plans in place to prevent them. So it's like a risk assessment for achievement. There will be risks to the learner and risks to the assessor. So let's have a look at these. Risks to the learners could be stress. So we all get a little nervous when we think about assessment, even if we've been practicing the skill for multiple years. The assessment gives you that little self-doubt, and this is normal, but we need to look at it from the learner's perspective. And how do they feel about assessment? So let's just say in the Level 3 Certificate in Assessing Vocational Achievement, we've just started the course and all of a sudden I spring a surprise assessment on you. Even a formal assessment, which counts for nothing towards the qualification, will make most individuals anxious, let alone if it was to suggest that your certificate depends on it. So how can we minimize learner stress? Do we expect too much, too soon on our learners? Or are we pushing them too hard as assessors? In the Level 3 Certificate in Assessing Vocational Achievement, you always go at your own pace, whether that's a self-study or classroom-based. The only difference is that the training will be delivered at a pace, but ultimately you decide when you complete your assessments. We've minimized the stress by giving all learners access to our materials. When individuals are given too much or don't do it, give themselves enough time, what do? They generally give up. They make mistakes, which doesn't actually reflect the whole work, or they end up cheating. I've done this myself as a 20-year-old under the pressures of balancing university and several jobs. Sometimes the risks are learner simply just not knowing how to reference the work correctly. This is why it's important that we get to take time to get to know our learners. Now, what about assessor risks? The most obvious risk is your workload. So we'll have busy lives. I have 2 children running around keeping me occupied, along with balancing other work. There is a pressure to complete your work, and in this case of freelance assessing roles, you only get paid for completing work. Therefore, there is automatic pressure to get through your work quickly to move on to the next learner. And this pressure will lead to mistakes from the assessor. Bias is another risk that you'll come across. You'll develop relationships with your learners, and this is okay. You'll also get on better with some learners than others, and this is perfectly normal as well. We may feel some learners cannot handle rejections well, or that they may be more confrontational about it. Therefore, assessors may be biased in their assessing to avoid this conflict. This is why it's crucial that we are impartial and show transparency in our assessing. This will reduce complaints and appeals and also lower your own stress levels.